For anyone questioning the Caitlyn Clark effect, we now have people wanting to watch golf because of her. We saw the kind of offer that Ice Cube made to Caitlyn to play in the Big Three. That is $5 million to play 3 months.
The rookie Caitlyn Clark makes $10 million off the court and then unleashes a bombshell. In her first year on the court, the basketball sensation is earning less than the price of a goods UV, but she has transformed her meager salary into a PR treasure trove. Caitlyn is making 6 figures just to show up and talk while others are sweating over their 9-to-5 slog. Greater than the NBA, I said, what will she be paid for? Because at last you're able to receive a legitimate wage. When I finally saw it, I thought this can't be right since this is what it is. Caitlyn Clark will make $76,535 in the first year. Furthermore, some companies are prepared to pay more than the cost of a home in flyover country simply to have her perform on their stage. Caitlyn Clark has transformed her off-court persona into a lucrative empire, amassing $10 million while the WNBA throws her peanuts. That's correct indeed. Compared to some seasoned NBA veterans, the rookie who made everyone feel terrible for has more zeros in her bank account. Her receiving the $28 flipping million makes me very happy. There's more though. Caitlyn Clark is not merely making money. While the WNBA looks on in disbelief, she is changing the rules of sports marketing, influence, platform, and visibility. She is everything. And she's making the most of it to outsmart her detractors and rivals. Caitlyn Clark just changed the game, and not everyone is thrilled about it, so buckle up. In actuality, Caitlyn Clark is more valuable than practically every professional basketball player in the world from a marketing standpoint. Her power to change the course of events is what makes her so brilliant. She viewed the WNBA as a launching pad rather than the ultimate aim. That little salary, the exposure the league offers, is a well-considered trade-off. Millions of people watch everything she does, and that attention translates into brand power, which is far more significant than a game day check. Rebounds and three-pointers aren't where the big money lies. It lies in what she stands for. Additionally, businesses of all sizes are lined up to have their names linked to hers. Consider her speeches, for instance. For a half-hour virtual presence, Caitlyn Clark is fetching $100,000 while others are working 9-to-5 jobs. Double or even quadruple that in person this year. She has earned at least $600,000 simply for attending and speaking. That isn't a job. It's a form of money printing. Why wouldn't companies pay? She is a walking inspiration, captivating and genuine. She is not simply listened to. They believe her. More than 2.6 million people watched Caitlyn Clark's most recent WNBA playoff game, but now the viewership is dropping below 1 million. Additionally, she has sponsorship arrangements that are unparalleled. The major players in the market, including Nike, Wilson, and State Farm, have all entered the fray. She apparently paid millions to Nike to sign her. A pitch wasn't even necessary. Nobody has to be persuaded of Caitlyn Clark's value. Her name speaks for itself. Farm State? To convince her to be in one of those oddball ads, they most likely went over their advertising budget. The legendary basketball company, Wilson, essentially wrote her a blank check. Every transaction solidifies her status as a worldwide symbol in addition to being a player. Her capacity to decline proposals is even more remarkable. In front of her, unrivaled, a brand new women's basketball league offered her equity and a $1 million salary. She didn't flinch at all. Clark would have signed immediately, but most people wouldn't. She's not playing checkers, she's playing chess. While Unrivaled may provide a short-term boost, the WNBA offers her something far more valuable, legitimacy and scope. She made a brilliant move by staying, taking a calculated risk that is now paying off handsomely. According to some projections, the league will lose almost $50 million. Will you attempt to raise additional funds at this time? Most likely not. We most likely don't need to raise as much money as we did when I took office in the 2020s. Additionally, her social media presence is a beast unto itself. Her every action is watched by millions, and every post is an opportunity to make a fortune. She is more adept than most influencers in affiliate marketing and sponsored content. Caitlyn Clark is brilliant because she's not just using her audience to her advantage. She is generating income from each remark and share. The amazing thing about all of this is that Caitlyn Clark is only beginning. Even though she has only just begun to realize her full potential, she is already changing the definition of what it means to be a contemporary athlete. There is more to her tale than basketball. It all comes down to strategy, vision, and an unwavering will to achieve. She is more concerned with the wider picture than others are with the game. People wonder why NBA players make 100 times as much as WNBA players when they look at player wages, because the NBA's TV money was 100 times greater than the WNBA's. Caitlyn Clark's name has swiftly come to represent greatness, not only on the basketball court, but also in branding and marketing. She is more than just a sportswoman. She is a talking, walking, slam dunk cash cow. Clark, who is only 22 years old, has figured out how to make money off of her fame in ways that most seasoned pros can only imagine. Even her speaking engagements are a show. Businesses are spending $100,000 for her to speak for 30 minutes. Yes, 6 digits is equal to 30 minutes of Caitlyn Clark. It goes beyond what she says. It has to do with the impact her presence has. The next day, the place she's in will be humming, social media will be popping, and news sources will be running with it. No matter how many marketing teams they employ, corporations are unable to match that type of influence. If you remember from 1979, when those 2 rookies, one black, one white, came in from a major collegiate rivalry, that was her magic moment. Thus, we have that instance involving these 2. However, I do know that competition is necessary in sports. People watch because of that. They would like to observe games of consequence between. However, Clark isn't going to stop there. Even elite NBA players would be jealous of the agreement she's signing. One of her most daring actions, collaborating with Wilson to produce a range of signature basketballs. The importance? Michael Jordan is the only other athlete to have accomplished this feat alongside Wilson. Take a moment to process that. Being the first female basketball player to sign a contract of this nature, Clark is shattering stereotypes and demonstrating that her brand is a serious contender. Her collaboration with State Farm is another. Like a nice neighbor, State Farm is there to pay millions of dollars for a deal that has her featured in advertisements with the famous jingle. State Farm isn't simply there. It turns out they are totally committed to the Caitlyn Clark craze. Her status as a marketing juggernaut is solidified by one agreement alone. Caitlyn Clark's main goal, in my opinion, is to be prepared for the WNBA season. Regardless of what really transpires, people ask, why in the WNBA? She barely earns $70,000. Why does she spend so much time worrying about one league instead of advocating for other leagues and other revenue-generating opportunities? Because the most attention is being paid to the WNBA. The actual jaw-dropper, though, her contract with Nike. 8 years, $28 million. That's revolutionary for a rookie. Unheard of, even. But wait, here's the twist. In fact, the deal might not be that great. Indeed, $28 million may seem like a lot, but upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that she might have received more. The piece that's missing, a distinctive shoe. One obvious flaw in the agreement is that Nike hasn't released one yet. The big money comes in signature shoes. Consider Steph Curry's line or Air Jordans. Sneaker sales fueled multi-billion-dollar enterprises. Even if Clark's deal appears to be huge, it may not be as big as what she's losing if she doesn't have that iconic shoe. Every fan in awe of her skill and every child who looks up to her would purchase a pair. It's confusing, though, that Nike hasn't taken advantage of this. No advertisements, no commercials, no products. Above all, avoid wearing distinctive kicks. They seem unwilling to excavate, even though they are sitting on a gold mine. Additionally, it has been rumored that Caitlyn Clark was offered a salary exceeding $1 million in substantial league equity by unrivaled 3-on-3. Thus, we have never heard of any money being thrown at her before. It would be a big deal, we've heard. The arrangement would be comparable to what Messi consider this. During the WNBA playoffs, Clark dons her brand new trademark sneakers as she takes the court. It would be a crazy buzz. Social media would collapse, fans would go crazy, and Nike's website would most likely break down due to the overwhelming demand. There would be a frenzy if the sneakers were put up for sale just before the game ended. All basketball fans, regardless of age, would like to experience some of Caitlyn Clark's magic. Nike appears to be taking its time instead. Even while Clark's offer is impressive, it appears to be lacking the X element. When it comes to marketability, experts concur that she is more valuable than many seasoned pros. Her popularity is worldwide, not just domestic. Her every game attracts millions of viewers. Brands typically spend billions to get that kind of attention. Because Caitlyn Clark is making so much money, many people are asking why she isn't playing in Unrivaled. She ought to participate in leagues X, Y, and Z. That should bring in some cash for her. Alternatively, Caitlyn Clark might perform X, Y, or Z. The depressing truth? Nike runs a greater danger of losing momentum the longer they delay. Every day without a signature shoe is a lost chance for Clark, whose star power is at an all-time high. The ideal time to introduce her line is during the WNBA playoffs. However, Nike will be wasting money and hype if they don't take quick action. Clark's success isn't only due to her skill. It has to do with how she has changed the rules for athlete branding. She has already amassed a multi-million-dollar fortune, and she still has a lot of unrealized potential. She has the potential to become a billion-dollar brand if she makes the correct decisions, such as releasing that iconic shoe at last. For Caitlyn Clark, the game extends beyond the court. She is also succeeding in the business sector. The rest of the sports marketing industry is keeping an eye on her every move and noting how she's changing the rules, even though Nike may be slow to catch up. One thing is certain, regardless of Clark's next play, it's going to change everything. The ascent of Caitlyn Clark serves as a lesson in long-term planning. She isn't here for short-term success or celebrity. She's creating something that will endure long after she stops playing. She's doing it all on her terms, which is the finest part. One thing is evident regardless of whether she is making three-pointers on the court or dropping jaws off it. Caitlyn Clark can't be stopped.